Hey, everybody. It's Melanie here again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you all are having a wonderful day thus far. So, a couple of months ago, I made a video and I wasn't aware that the sound quality was so bad. So, I'm coming back to redo that video on that topic because it's a very important topic. Is normalizing apologizing to your children. Yeah, the sound was so bad on that video because I had just started making videos again, and I don't know what happened, why the sound was so bad, but I started using a different platform. So now the sound will be better. You all can hear me. And I know, yeah, not many people even watched that video. My sister watching it was like, girl, I had to turn that video all the way up to 100 and still can hardly hear you. So I know, that's why people weren't watching it. And this is information that is very much needed because I know it was needed for my family. So I know it can help a lot of other people coming from a mother's perspective. So I'll start with my story. Okay, so I have 7 children. Um, they're like, let me see, the ages are they range from 35 all the way down to the last one is about to be 20. So I was a teenage mother, didn't know what the heck I was doing. Went through a whole lot, especially with my oldest son, which our relationship right now is a bit estranged. Um, we don't have the relationship that I wish we would have. But throughout the years, I have noticed that it's very important to, first of all, as a parent, recognize the mistakes that you have made while you're parenting. Recognize them, come to grips with it, and then try to make it amends, as much as you can. Apologize for, your lack, um, whatever it was that you were lacking. Children don't come here with handbooks. We have no idea half the time what the heck we're doing. We learn by doing. And sometimes, some of these kids are our trial and error babies. And as a result, the relationships sometimes are damaged because, some children don't get what they need. Even though as parents, we sometimes feel like, oh, I gave them a roof over their head, they kept food in their stomach, stuff like that. It's not enough. Every child is different. If you have more than one child, you would know that every child is different and every child has different needs. I have 7, so it's like, yeah, everybody is different. I can't interact with one the same way I interact with the other, if that makes sense, because they're different. They have different mindsets. And there was a point in time where, I just clumped them all in one little bunch, like, okay, I treat them all the same and they get the same things from me. But I see now that that was not effective. And as adults, some of them have expressed, their issues with my parenting, which at first it was hard to accept. At first, who likes to hear, hey, mama, you didn't get it right. You didn't give us what we needed. Mama, feel like I'm a little messed up and need some therapy because you weren't there in the ways that I needed you to be there. You didn't show up as the parent that I needed, you know, in my life. And I'm like, okay, it's a hard pill to swallow, but it takes some self reflection. And you just really have to be honest with yourself and receive what they're saying instead of being defensive. Um, it's a no no being defensive because while one child may have experienced or had this experience with, of you, the next one might say, oh no, that's not my experience with mom. So it's different. They have different needs, they have different wants, and they have different perceptions. So you have to meet them where they are. And if it's between um, you saving face and your child going on to live a happy, healthy, and fulfilled life, which is more important, you know? Some people hate to apologize. Some people hate it because it's signaling to them that it's a form of admitting failure or defeat. But instead of looking at it that way, look at it as, okay, this is what they experience. This is how they feel. I owe it to them to listen and understand that this is what their interpretation of things was, and not be defensive. Look at it through their point of view. It might be hard because, I mean, nobody likes to sit and listen to, you know, negativity, especially if you think that you've done your best. But 9 times out of 10, I mean, I can honestly say I did the best with what I had at that time, or during those time periods when I was raising each set of children. I did the best that I could at that period of time. You can't you can't do any more than what you're equipped, with the knowledge to do. If you just don't know, you just don't know. Like I said, children are not born with a handbook. A lot of times, I watch on these talk shows like Karamo show, for instance. If you all watch him on YouTube, Karamo Brown, I think that's his last name, Karamo. But anyway, he deals with a lot of family issues, and you see a lot of parents come on with their children, and the children are expressing how they felt growing up, what they felt was lacking from the relationship from their mother or father. And you'll see the parents, cussing the kids out. I did this. You got that. That ain't what happened. And the child is sitting there just bawling their eyes out, just crying, just trying to get the recognition, just trying to get the parent to acknowledge this is my experience that I had. I want you to acknowledge that. And that's basically what they want you to do. Acknowledge that this was their experience, as how you can make things better moving forward, even if they are adults. What do they need from you now? Apologize sincerely and do better moving forward. Now, after you've apologized, I'm not saying continue to, don't let anybody disrespect you. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times some of these kids will be disrespectful because they feel like, hey, you wasn't there, you didn't do A, B, C, D, Z, you didn't do this, and that, and the third. So I'm just gonna be disrespectful and defiant. I'm not saying be a doormat, because you now realize that you weren't there in a capacity that they needed at that time. I'm definitely not saying that, because I'm not going to be a doormat. I've apologized to all of my children that need apologies, because I recognize the areas where I was deficient. I'm pretty straightforward, and I sit and I think a lot, and I'm like, okay, I could have done this better. I wish I would have known this, but I was in survival mode for most of the years that I was raising my children. I didn't have the resources that I needed to raise 7 children. I didn't have it. So most of the time I was stuck in a cycle of just trying to provide food, trying to provide clothing, trying to provide. So the emotional needs definitely were not met. So I see now how that has affected all of the ones that are affected by that. And all I can offer now, is apologies and help moving forward and being present in their lives in the capacity that they need at this point as, grown adults. I'm here. They can call me anytime. We can talk about anything. I'm open. I'm transparent. We can talk about anything, even stuff I don't like to hear. We talk. So, like I said, don't be a doormat. Don't don't go to the other end of the spectrum trying to please people, because we don't want you to be manipulated either. Because, yeah, some people will try to manipulate you because they know you feel bad because of your shortcomings as a parent in the past. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. Recognize those signs. If that's what's happening, recognize it and nip it in the bud. Don't be a doormat. Be helpful, do what you can when you can, but don't fall for manipulation if that's what's going on with you. But like I said, don't carry the guilt around after you've apologized, you come to terms with your shortcomings. Don't continue to carry the guilt around, because as adults, they now have a responsibility to go and get the help that they need to move forward and be healthy, healed, productive citizens. They have that opportunity. They've gotten an apology. That should be a beginning. That should be, like a first step of healing. Sometimes that's all you need. It's like, it feels like a breath of fresh air. Like, okay, my parents hear me. They recognize this is what happens. Okay, now I can move forward to getting the help that I need. So I know there's a lot of parents out there. I have some friends, that are also dealing with their children and different issues. And I hear it all the time. Apologize and let them do the work they need to do as adults. And if they need you to step in and come to some therapy sessions with them to work through that, go ahead. I'm all for it. If anybody wants me to go to therapy, I'm cool with it. As a matter of fact, I was speaking with my one of my daughters the other day, and I was telling her how I've apologized to, some of the other kids. And I was like, I've apologized to y'all. I was like, hey, hold on. Have I apologized to you? And then she like, I don't think so. And I was like, girl, I said, well, you know what? I said, well, if you feel like there's something you need to discuss, let me know. We can have a conversation. She like, okay, I got to think about it. I'm open. I'm honest. I'm all for them healing and being the best adult versions of themselves. So if that takes me, taking accountability for what I was lacking, because I know I was lacking. I know it. I know it. 7 kids, that's a lot. And half the time I was single. I had a lot on my plate. Single, working, and in school at the same time. So I had a lot going on throughout all of their childhood. So I already know. Yeah, I was lacking in some things. But now I'm older. I know better. I recognize what people need as adults now that they are adults. And so I can step in and say, hey, you need this from me, I got you. You know? So yes, have I wished that things would have been better? Yes, yes. But I'm also grateful that I have acknowledged, I have acknowledged, the deficiencies that I've experienced and how it's affected some of the kids. Um, yes, I wish, my relationship with my oldest son was better. Like I said, we haven't spoken. We haven't spoken in months. So, I had him at 14. Yeah, he went through a whole lot. I've apologized. So whenever he's ready, and able to have a conversation, or he's healed, I'm here whenever he's ready. But hopefully this is helpful to some parents. Be prayerful, pray for your kids. And like I said, it starts with you taking accountability. That's the start of it all. Take accountability. It might hurt. It is, you might have to sit with it for a while. Like I said, because who likes admitting that they were wrong, or that they didn't have the tools, they weren't prepared to parent properly. Nobody likes to admit it, but we have to come to that reality and just be truthful. We have to take accountability. That's the first step. Get healed, get whole, and help your children heal and get whole as well, so they can be productive. That's what's important, because you want your grandkids to be whole and happy. You don't want them growing up in the same cycle being perpetuated over and over and over again. So you want to get this. You want to get this communication. You want to get this fixed. So I just want to drop that. I should have said this was part two, but the other video was hardly, able for you all to hear. So I just want to put that out there. If you all have any questions, I'm here. I'm transparent. I'll talk about anything. I'm not embarrassed of my past. I've been through a lot. I have a lot of knowledge that can help a lot of people. Um, my focus is women with children mostly, because like I said, I've been through a lot and I have a lot to discuss. So you'd be surprised, just pick at me and or drop me a comment, and yeah, let me know what's something else that you would like to discuss. If there's something you would like for me to go more in depth about, like with my parenting, the raising of 7 children, what resources, weren't available, the struggles that I've encountered, then let me know. Let me know. I'm here. So, yeah. So, like I said, be transparent with your children, apologize, and heal and move on. And don't be a doormat afterwards. After you apologize, don't be holding that guilt. Apologize, pray about it, and move on and wish them the best. Some children still will not want anything to do with you, and you have to give them to God. Give them to God. Let God work on that situation. I'm not telling you to run behind anybody. So let God do what He's going to do with them. And as long as you know you apologize from your heart, you're sincere, there's nothing more you can do about it. Okay. You can't change the past. That's for sure. You can't change the past. That's why I said I can't change the past. Although I wish I could, but I'm thankful for the lessons that I have learned from my experiences, because it certainly would have been a problem if I hadn't learned anything in all these years. That would be tragic. Okay. So now I see, I can see how to moving forward with my grandkids. When I'm watching my children parent, now I have the insight, like, hey, you better do this because you don't want to wind up, the situation with me. You need to do things a little bit differently because you don't want this to happen. So now I have that insight, and I mean, I can, share that wealth of knowledge with them as well. So you all be blessed. Like I said, subscribe, leave me a comment, a thumbs up, and you all enjoy the rest of your day.